So, welcome to the project session to the AutoCAD drafting course. So, here in this session, I would be telling you how to create a 3D model out of the plan that you can see over here and the elevation that you can have. So, the complete step of creating a building. So, first, I would like you to first of all copy the plan that you have and then go with the layer command and create some new layers like 3D wall. Give a color to the 3D wall, and then you have 3D window. Give a color to the 3D frame. So window will be having a frame. Window will be having 3D window mullion. So this is the 3D frame is a 3D window frame, and then we will be having a 3D window glass. So we'll be creating the layers for elements, like then we will be having 3D door, then we will be having a layer of, let's say, 3D door frame, then we'll be having a 3D door panel. So this is a very kind of then we will be having 3D floor. So rename it. So now let's see how basically the process of 3D modeling comes. So we will be looking into all the process of building this 3D model, starting from the creation of a 3D wall to texturing, lighting, and then rendering. So I'm going to go for a quick tour of the modeling. You will be learning how to create a elevation and how to create the 3D model from a plan. So you have a plan like this that you can see. So what you need to do is, this plan is out of the clutter, like the text command, and it should be a wall like this. So now put the layer on of the wall layer. Let's say I'm having the wall layer on, and then go for the boundary command. So the boundary command is used in order to create region or polyline from a close point. So you click on this particular part. So now you can see that when you press enter, the region will be created. Now here if you go for a 3D view right now, so I'm changing it to the right. So I'm opening the view cube, and let's say I'm changing my screen to black screen. So to change the screen to black screen, you go for an options, and then you go for the color, and then you go for the black option. So yeah, here what I need to do right now is I have to change I have to go to the shade, and so the moment I need to change the shade. So now I can see that here in this the plan option creates the plan view that is the parallel to the UCS. So this is the UCS. Now again I need to go for a pick point and create the walls. So this is something that I created, and here I have two doors to this particular space. So you have this door here, and this is another door that would be going to this passage. So there are three rooms over here in this particular building that we are going to make. And apart from that, there is something that you want to create is the floors and the parapets. So we'll be getting the heights of it. So now first thing that you need to do is you need to basically see what is the height of the building from the plinth level. So go to the plan and just measure what is the height of the floor, so height of the floor from the plinth level. So I go for a dimension linear, check the dimension from the elevation that I am having. So it is 3000. So let's say now I will extrude. So this is the region that I have right now. So I go to the 3D orbit and then I go for parallel projection. So what I can do is, rather than going to change the view every time, I go to the view tab and set this view as let's say view 1. So what will happen is, every time I'm going to switch off over here, so I can always put the view on and come back. So first of all, extrude this particular wall, set of walls, to a height, let's say around. So now, one thing that you need to be sure of, that you don't select the lines. So what you need to do is put the layer isolated of this particular plan, so that you don't select other objects. So you have this extrude option. So you can go to the view and select the V1 as the current. So now you have this extrude option, and here I select this particular region and extrude it, let's say 3 meters. So I'm not extruding the plinth. So I will be creating a floor and doing a plinth at the bottom. Here I have this entire wall with the uh, openings over here. So now, first of all, I would like to develop the opening for the window. So here I will take the layer, specifically the layer for the uh, window I have created. So I will go for the window, 3D window. So I create a rectangle here from here to here, and the next thing that I would do is, so V is this, and V1. Okay. The next what I would do is, I would move this or I would say, let's say for example, first of all I would like to find out what is the sill level of this. So here, to find out the sill level, I need to go to my plan and see the sill level is 600. So here what I'm doing is, I'm extruding this window to 600. So if I'm selecting this particular and making it 600, so this is the sill level of this particular wall. So then what I would do is, I would like to have the top covered also. So here I go, I put my UCS at this face. So I go with UCS and face, and I put the UCS at this particular face, and I click right, and I go here. So I'm extruding this at let's say the distance that I have of the lintel level is, let me check. So this is what I have. So this is the distance is 600. So it is 600 from the top and 600 from the bottom. So this is, I will go for a 600 minus 600. So now you can union this particular wall and get the window opening. So let me first of all change the color of the wall so that it looks better. So let me put it at a lighter shade, and the window, let me get it into a greener shade. So we have this window. So next I would like to have the opening for the, so I will put my UCS in the world. So you have this again, I do my rectangle, and let's say I do my rectangle here and extrude this rectangle to, let's say, 600. So similarly, I take my UCS over here, create a rectangle of 600. So it would be somewhat like this. Select the rectangle and create it minus 600. So you can union this, and this is what we have created. And then I would like to have my door. So I would put my UCS at this face itself, and do the rectangle part from here to here. And definitely the doors and windows are at the same level, so I would go with minus 600. So you have this door opening, the window opening, and here we have, you can union it. Similarly, I will be having my UCS at space, and I would like to cover this particular head of the door. So I'll put the dynamic UCS off. So here I have the extrude option, and I can have minus 600 now and go with the union option. So now you have these openings that you have done. Now you're going to put the doors as per the elevation. So now I have created the wall shell of the building. Now I will be creating the windows. So for that, let's say I go to the view and let me select the view that I was working in. So here, let's say I go to the plan. Now what I need to do is I need to create the elevation that is over here. So what I do is I copy this elevation here, and what I will do is so 3D orbit, and you have this parallel option. So the moment you copy this elevation here and bring this elevation here, let's say, so I'm going to put it in alignment with this so that I can match with it. Now let me see which layer it is right now. So okay, the elevation is in the 0 layer, so that's fine. So what I will do is I will make this elevation into group so that it is selected together. Now I will do a rotate 3D option, and rotate this in this particular axis in 90 degree, and move this uh, in parallel to the, I mean, I'll bring it here at this point, so that I will be able to create the elevation buildings front view as per the elevation. So what I did is I moved it, and now I will be creating the elevation. So now to create the elevation, again I'm going to the view that I had made it set current. So I would like to put my UCS at this face because I would like to uh, do with the lines. That's fine. So now I go to the plan, and here I would say that how to create these uh, panels is again one technique that I would be telling you about. So just, you need to, for the doors and windows, just copy the elevation on the side, because you are now and then ungroup this, and fine. So the moment you ungroup this, you find these lines. So here I am interested to only create the take the profile of the windows and create the profiles from them. So that's fine. So now here I can see that this part is of the frame, this is the mullion, and there is a glass over here. So what I would do is, first of all, create I would first of all put the door frame the window frame layer current. So let me give a particular color to the window frame layer. Let's say I put a color, let's say brown, and make it correct. So now what will happen if you go for boundary and for region, we will be creating region. So this is the region. So you can, if you look into it, this object is filled. So what you need to do is select the bigger region, and go for a subtract option, select the bigger region, and there's a smaller region over here. You need to subtract it. So this is a frame that is done over here. Now the next is basically the mullions. So for the mullions I keep a different color, okay, and make it in current. So go for a boundary command, and then there are 1 2 3 mullions. Again, what you need to do is subtract the object, and if you don't, cannot select all the object, because the common will be subtracted. So you have this okay. So now let me see. Okay, so what you can do is select the bigger object and then press enter the smaller one. Select the bigger object, then press enter, select the smaller one. Select the bigger object, press enter, select the smaller one. So you have the frame ready for the 3D object. Next is the glass. So go to the layer and change. So you have a mullion, so make this layer as the glass layer. So I would rename this layer and make it as glass, and keep the color as let's say uh, glass color like cyan. So I'll go with the boundary, and then I'll have the region 1 2 3. So change the object to the layer called glass, 3D glass. Now this window has a different size than this. So then this is the projection that I will be making. Similarly, you can have this window done. So 3D frame, boundary, and you have this region and this boundary done. So you have one. So now you need to look that, there should not be opening, otherwise the boundary will not be created. So in order to see that where the frame is not getting worked out, so let me check it and see that. So here we have this boundary. Let me start with the mullion boundary first. So let me have the mullion boundary first. So boundary, and let me check whether the mullion boundary is working. So you have the mullion boundary is working. So you can subtract it from the right. Subtract bigger one, enter. So bigger one, enter. So okay. So if let's say the smaller one is not selected, okay. Okay. So you need to try with the select object option. So sometimes the smaller objects do not get selected. Then you can go with the layer of the glass. So you have the glass layer. You can go with the boundary, and you have the region, and so this is the glass. So here we have we had to create the frames. Now so there is an opening over here. Let me check the opening is there. So you can go with the fillet radius boundary. So go with the BO command and see whether the boundary is getting created or not. So again, so now so now what you need to do is I have undo the command. So I would be looking for a window frame. So I go with the boundary and see whether the boundary is created or not. So right. So now first of all, we would be creating the frame. So go to the 3D and the view over here. So here just isolate the because there are two layers, two regions that has been created. So I'm isolating this layer so that I can get the exact layer. Yeah. So you have this subtract option. So you can subtract this from, so you can have all the subtraction done. So this region is also deleted. Now you can put on the layer and see how it works. So now this frame, you can basically now go to the layer of the frame and extrude the frames by, let's say, I have selected this frame and I'm extruding this frame inside like minus 75 mm. So the frame is extruded. Similarly, I'm extruding this mullions by, let's say, 30 mm. So what happened is, since the mullion layer was not current, so I would like to put this into the mullion layer. Okay, and then we will be extruding the glass. So this way we are creating the assembly of the window. Okay, now put the layer of the glass on. So go for an extrude option of all the glasses, select them, and minus 15 mm you can give the glass thickness, or minus 12 mm you can give. So now just move the mullions, let's say 15 mm back in the Z axis. So select the mullions because there will be some kind of, so you select this and you move it, let's say minus 20 mm. Okay, so now if you look it into this, so if you have this mullions, now look why we are moving this. So select this and move this in this direction. So let's say 15 mm you want to move inside. So and then similarly this glass you want to move, let's say more 20 mm. So there will be a kind of depth that would be created. Here you can see the depth here. Similarly, move both of them and then you will move the glass. So you can see, so I am moving 20 mm the entire assembly and I am moving the glass at 5 mm. So there is, now we have created the windows. Now put the layer off of the zero layer so that we can group the windows. So I'm creating a group of this window and I'm creating a group of this window. And the two groups are created. Now this is selected individually. Now what I will do is I will copy this window and put it over here and copy this window and put it over here. This way you are basically placing the window into the opening. Now what you need to do is just place this 20 mm back so that, or you can create more niche to the side, so you can have this. So I would be moving more 50 mm in fact, so that it goes inside, right? So this is what I have created for the windows. So now I will be creating the projections. So I go to the layer and create another layer called projections. So I make this projections layer current. So all the projections that I was seeing in my elevation. Now open the layer. So go with layer on. Now here you can see that the projections are there. So go to the plan because so what you need to do is you need to again put the UCS over here. So what I will do is I'm going to save the location of this UCS. Uh, so UCS manager I can go and here I can, so you can see the unnamed UCS over here. So in the UCS command there's option called face named object. So here you can basically save the UCS wherever you want. So but so now let me you can set it current and you can rename it, name it as 1. So if the UCS is at word, so if you go to UCS man and press 1 and set current, it comes to the UCS. So now press plan. Plan will take you to the front. So now keeping the layer projection on, so I will be giving a different color to the projection. Let's say I want to have a grayish color uh, kind of thing. So here I have this projection and I will give the layer BO and I'll be having two regions, one at here and other is here. So I have got two projections and then I can go to the view and go to the V1 and set current so that I can basically create this projections as so. Okay, let me go to the plan and see how the projections are created. So have the projection layer. So, okay, by default the projection layer became frozen, so I'm just going to unfreeze the layer. Okay, so go to the shade option. So let me see how I can retrieve. So this is the projection layer that I was having. So go to the view and V1 and set current. So you can have this. So here, okay, I'll go to the plan. Right. So there's something that is going wrong with it. So let me check the UCS first. So go to the view and V1 set it current and UCS manager put it at 1. So I'm going to set current so that I get the actual UCS. Now I can see that in this particular case uh, the I need I go to the plan and set the boundary layer current that I did previously so that or the projection layer current. The selected layer cannot be make current because let me check, because the projection layer I think is frozen. So if you unfreeze or thaw it, yeah, it is there. So you don't need to create the region. So it became so now go to the view and go to the V1 and okay. So the moment I go to the V1, in the V1 the layer is thawed. Okay, so here I go and extrude the projections. So this is basically the extrusion would be around 450. So I put this all into the layer called projection layer, and then what I would do is I would copy this. Let's say if I want to copy this, I need to take a particular point. So here the particular point can be the point of the steps or so second point of the step. So here I click in this point endpoint and just click it over here. So now you can see that the projection is rightly placed in the elevation. So next, we are interested to create the doors. So go to the plan, and so again you need to change the UCS location, UCS manager, where the saved UCS is there. So go for set current, and go to the view and go to the V1 and set it current. So here I need to go to the plan view here. So okay, so I'm going to the view, and then I would change my UCS manager, set it to 1, and I am here. So here I have this frame that I need to do. Let's say the frame is can be like this. Okay, go to the plan, and again you can put the door frame on. So you can have the boundary option, select the frame over here. Now you have the, now next the layer would be the panel, the door panel. Go to the boundary, so you have this panel ready. So now change the layer of the color of the layer of the panel, let's say to a lighter color, and the door frame to, let's say, a darker color, so that they are distinguishable. So now you have this door ready. So go to the view, and V1 set current, and you can see the view which is there. So now you can have the copy of this, or first of all extrude this particular door frame -75 back, and then put this layer as a door frame, and just need to extrude this minus, let's say, 20-30 mm, and put the layer as door panel. So here you have this assembly of doors. So now just select this, and in the second stairs take the base point and just place it from where did you pick it up. So the projection layer is again frozen, so let me, okay, put it on. Now you can move the panel, let's say select the panel and move them, move the panel to, let's say, in the Z axis -20 mm. So if you move them in -20 mm, there will be a depth that will be seen. So just put it and go towards 20, not -20, and then overall this frame and this you can move around 150 mm, so that there's a particular depth that happens. So just push it forward, let's say 30 mm forward, so that it does not go beyond the wall section lines. Okay, that's fine. Now you can see that the wall is detailed. Now we are in the verge of finishing of the modeling of this particular wall. So now I would be creating the plinth level. To create the plinth level, uh, I would go to the UCS and press world, and here I would like that take a rectangle over here across the plan, and then okay, go to the view, V1 set correct. So here I take this rectangle, come to the layer, put the projection layer on, and that's fine. So if you put the lay off, okay, so lay off. So I'm putting the layer, current layer off. So now you can see that there, okay, here I wanted to create a rectangle. So now let's say I want to have the floor layer on. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have the plinth created over here. So the plinth is the floor in fact. So you can do what, you can extrude this line, let's say minus 600, whatever the plinth height is, and change the color. I mean, it is not required. So you can give a different color to it, or go to the layer and give a color which suits. So let's say I give a color, this color. So now I put the layer on, and I can see that the uh, floor is having a different color pattern than the wall. So what will happen in the periphery of the wall? There would be a wall cladding which would be moving over here. So we'll be putting a wall clad over here. So that we can. So let me do that wall clad, and after that I will be doing the staircase. So how to put that wall clad? So throughout from this point. So let me take the idea. So you go to the UCS world and see what is the layer. First of all, it is a 3D floor. Go to the so I want to have that wall cladding in the 3D wall layer. So I made it current. So go to the UCS face at this particular point. So I want to have the face here, or because the wall will be having the sweep from here. So right. So what I want to do is I'm going to move this UCS and put it here. Okay, I want to put the X, Y, whatever it is, but I want to create a rectangle. The reason why I did is I want to create a rectangle which is, let's say, height. Now it is in the X axis, and let's say 50 mm is the width. Now here, this one I want to sweep across this path. So what I will do is I'll create a polyline. So I take the layer, zero layer as the base layer, and right. So I create a polyline, or what I will do is rather than creating a polyline, I will copy this particular face. So solid edit, face copy. It will, so I select this face. So solid edit, face, and I want to copy this face. So this is the face that I want to copy. So two faces found. So let me the reason why I'm copying this, because I want to have the profile. So solid edit, face, copy. So let me isolate this layer along with this, lay ISO, so that I can work individually. Okay, so what will happen? So if I do a lay ISO, uh, go to the settings. Okay, put all the layer off, enter. Okay, so settings, so enter settings for layer not isolated, put it off. So all the layers are off. So this is in the wall layer. So let me match this. Okay, so now I will be also putting this off. Now see why the reason I am putting this off. is I want to create the profile. So in 3D there are, so yes, so here we are. So you have this profile here. So you want to have a, you want to copy this profile. So you have the face, you have the copy. Now you can select it very easily, and then you can copy it. So now let me change the layer, the current layer to projection, or I can have the 3D floor as a current layer, so that anything which I create shall be visible in the current layer. So when I do a solid edit face copy, I have to see that the layer which is current is available. So now you can see that I will explode this, and then what I will do is I will put my UCS in this face so that I can join these lines as a polyline. So I have the join option, and here I will bring this profile and put it here. So since this is from the bottom, I want to put it here, or I can get it from the bottom also. That's not an issue. So you can have it in the top also, let's say here. So you extrude, or let's say delete this, you can use an extrude option, and you can select the, so now if let's say if I want to give a profile into it, so UCS world and UCS 3 point, now see what happens. So I'm just thinking that I should give a profile into it. So giving a profile is, let's say if I have some rectangles over here and I copy this down. So it's a checkered profile that I'm giving to the, okay. So here what will happen if I do a boundary and do a region. So only this particular portion will be selected, and now you can extrude this in the path that you have created. So this entirely you can move it into the 3D wall layer, close it. So you put it on the 3D wall layer, and now you can move this 3D wall layer and put it above the, to create a wall clad. So here in this particular area I don't require it, so I want to cut it. To do so, put the UCS here, and what you can do is you can create a rectangle at this particular point, and let's say you want to so what you need to do is put your UCS at this front. There are two ways. You can either create a bigger box and subtract the object. So here we are. So I am creating a box, let's say move last. So I'm just stretching this to the part that, okay, and bringing it here, and so 3D orbit, you can do a parallel view. You zoom in and you can see that line. So just extrude this line here and subtract this from this. So you have this cut out there, and then you need to also have the staircase at this particular point. So put the layer on. So now we are going to create the staircase, and then we will do the rendering part. So let me have the doors copied into the inner part. Okay, so you have the doors over here and the windows given, and then you have the clad of the wall which is surrounding over here. So I will be having a stone cladding here. So seeing so, now what I will do is I'm just putting off the layer and erasing this part. So I'll be creating a rectangle at the top. So put my UCS at the top and create a rectangle here of this particular size. Okay. So now if I do so, okay. Now this rectangle will be having, let's say, this is a floor 150 thickness. So the layer is 3D floor, and what I can do is at this stage I'll so if I am creating a floor, it is good that I create in the internal part so that it does not merge with the walls. So yeah, so I extrude it, so minus 150, let's say, or 150 I can give, and then I will copy the entire element including the, let's say, so what I'm going to copy is I'm going to copy the wall from this point to this point. So the wall is copied, and similarly I'm going to copy the windows and doors. So I can take this as the base point because it is visible over here. Right. So now there is certain things that we can do over here with this building. First thing is that we need to create the staircase at this particular part, the steps, and then create another floor. So I can have an opening, I can have the staircase at this particular point. The staircase can be here or it can go from here. So I can keep an opening so that the it can be maneuvered from the uh, front, from the back. So go for the UCS. I'm just creating the elevation right now here, and go with the rectangle part, and so I'll go with the smaller rectangle part and create again a floor. So I'll extrude it the last, and let's say 150. So now the outer wall has to be extruded. So now you can see that uh, so I put the layer off of the floor. So select it, and I want to put it off. So now I want to have the parapet. So let me put the 3D wall on, and here to get the parapet, what I need to do is I need to create this wall and let's say 230 offset. So just move the last wall that we have created and go for a 230 offset, and put the region over here. And the parapet is, let's say, if you want to subtract the region right now, so you can always subtract it. And parapet is, let's say, 600 millimeters or 900 millimeters in fact. So you extrude it 900 and move this particular part over here. So let me check. So you have this extrusion and you have a 900 extrusion, and then you move this at this particular part. So you have this union over here. So I'm doing the union of so now I can copy the frame and the door that I have done over here in the upper part, because right, so I can do it in the upper part. So the floors are off, so I can put the floor on right now, so I can see the parapet with the terrace. So this is the building that can be created in AutoCAD by simple rules. So you can have some elevation and facade detail. Let's say if I want to put a UCS over here, so if I, let's say, and I want to have some detail, like I want to have a projection done at this particular point, let's say, so get a rectangle REC. So see what type of facade design you can make. So make the layer first of all on. So if I draw a rectangle, so I think I need to change the color. So I go with the projection layer as current. So now let's say if I want to have some projection of this lines, so there is I can go for a plan first. So in the plan you can have a 2D wireframe, SHA 2D wireframe, or height. You can go for a height. So let's say here I can there is a there are a lot of rectangles which we try to create, but let's say I want to create a rectangle at this set. Okay, let me come over here. So there's a rectangle that is created. You can have a shade and see, and let's say I push this rectangle to this particular part. I'm creating some features over here so that the 3D look can, let's say I have a 15 meter, or let's say extrude it at let's say 115 mm. So you can have a different kind of, so you're giving it to the projection or let's say 3D wall itself, but a different material you are posting it. So this is how, let's say, similarly you can do a mirror command, mirror 3D, select this object, and let's say here the axis would be, mirror axis would be YZ axis. So you select this YZ axis over here, and you can have the similar object, but you can see that in this particular case the profile should be a little so what you do is you go for solid edit, face extrude. So what you can do is you can reduce the size, let's say so rather than increasing, so what you can do is solid edit, redo, solid edit, face extrude, select this particular face, and let's say give the value of minus 300, and taper angle. So this is moved over here. So if you want to give a projection over here, so you can have the UCS, it is always there, the UCS is here. So you can draw a rectangle to the nearest point over here, and then you can extrude this rectangle that you have created. So minus 115. So you can union this file, and this is something that uh, kind of projection that has been created into the building, so that the projection that is happening, so then we will be having a balcony over here. So let me put the projection down. So I'll go with the solid edit, face extrude. So here you can go down and you know to the part. So you have this okay. So what I will suggest is go for view and get it current, and go to the 3D orbit, and okay. So I want to extrude it, solid, edit, face, extrude it, select this face, and let's say I want to extrude it to the bottom of this particular part. So I think we need to give a particular value. So I go for solid, edit, face, extrude, and here select this, and let's say I want to extrude it at 1500 mm. So you have to measure it. Uh, so this is the extrusion that is done, and similarly you can extrude it at 1500. So here in the parapet you can give some design, like for example here you have, so you can go to the view, set current. So this is the parapet that you have. So let me erase this. I think the extrusion has become quite bulky, and okay, there is certain amount of extrusion has been done here unknowingly. So what you can do is, if you can slice these things, so go to the view, and here in the v1 you can always say that go for a slice option, and slice this object that you have created, and you can have the slice plane as zx plane, and the yeah, and both. So now you can see that this object can be deleted. Now you can have different color to it. Let's say go to the properties and give a different color to it. So I'm giving a different color to it, so that it can be easily visible. So this is something that it has to be understood while we are working. Okay, so lay on, and the, I think in the layer, the projection layer is again frozen. So the last is basically going with the stairs that we can do. So to draw the stairs, go to the plan, and next we'll go with the material and then render it with a light. So here to enter into this, I create, let's say, 300 thread. So there are four risers to it. You don't select the correct one. One, two, three, four. So what you can do here is you can create stairs out of these risers. So 3D orbit, and go to the parallel view and zoom it over here. Boundary, create the regions for the staircase. So you have one, that is 150, 150, 150, and then you have to have another staircase. So you need to have another one, because 600 should be. So here we go. This is 150 first stair that you create. So you need to select the region itself. You select the lines, so the surfaces will be created. So select this 300, select this 450, and select this, it would be 600. So now if you do the union of all these, the staircase will be created. So this staircase you can copy it and put it here at the edge of the door. So right, so let me put this layer off. So there are certain, if you can see that the staircase is okay, of the biggest size. So what we can do is, right this moment, I can slide this part. So I can have a slice option, select this staircase, select this rib, and go with the YZ plane, and here is the YZ plane, and keep both the sides. So here one is there and the other is there. So here again you have to slice this, and you have to have the YZ plane, and put this both the sides. So now this object is separated now. So this object, so now you have sliced it and removed the unwanted edge. So what we did is, we created the stairs for this particular, let me give a different color to it so that it looks a better uh, part. So I have this color, and let's say I give it a different color, let's say a gray color. So after doing all these, so let me have another, let me have some feature over here so that it looks a better feature. So I go here, and so I want to give some small features, like I go with the rectangle right now, and put the, it is off. So I have this thin features that I want to give. So let me have the projection layer on, so that or any, let's say window frame, which is the darker layer, shade 2D wireframe. So you can normally do a shade command, and if you draw a line, so it will not be visible because of the color, or okay. So let me create the snap. Okay, so if I am doing it in the hidden line, so let me do it in the plan view first. So I have this rectangle here, and I create so SHA 2D wireframe. So there are a lot of objects have been created, but they are not visible due to the transparency factor. So I go for a hide option. So let me create a line, let's say. So I just put the snap off. So what I'm trying to do is, I want to cut through some uh, features. So before, so let me put it the UCS at the face first. Let me see if I had put it in the correct face, and then I can create, yeah, I can create the line. So let me create the line. Let me create the region first, so that can- so so now you have this objects here. Copy this, or just extrude this uh, region, let's say back, and copy this and array this in the number of rows. Let's say number of column is 1, rows is 1, and let's say the number of rows you can give it as 30. And so close array. So what I want to do is, I want to subtract this bunch of object. So what I need to do is, first of all, make it non-associative. So if I explode it, all the objects now will be different. So after creating the array, I need to, so I select all the objects from where I want to create the features. So this is something that I wanted to do with this particular feature. So once you have this, go to the plan and UCS world. The next what I would be doing is I would be setting the cameras. So SHA to the wireframe, and now you can remove the clutter, put it in a particular layer. Let's say I want to put this into the layer called extras, and keep the layer color something bright, so that so whatever I create, let's say I will create all these objects, and I would like to put it in the layer called extra, and then I will go put the layer off. So that's fine. So select this, and here you have extra, and put it off. So now you can also erase this, because these are, so now the scene is ready. You have this so I want to give a small balcony kind of thing, or a projection that is required here. So here I can go with the UCS base, and right here, let's say if I want to create a rectangle, so I have to check. Okay, so put the snapping on, and here let's say I want to have the balcony till this particular end. So some kind of let's say this is something that I wanted to give. So let me have a line over here, so that I can do an offset, or I can create a rectangle again. Let's say REC, and I just uh, I will just create an offset over here. Let's say I go for a perpendicular at this particular point, and let's say 150 is the slab thickness. So I can create a rectangle from here to here, and create let's say, so let me create the rectangle again from here to here, extrude last, and let's say I extrude it by 1200 So this is, and I would not be having this particular here, because so this is the balcony, and let's just check the thickness. I think it is 150 that I had given, or it can be lesser than that, let's say. So here I have this floor slab, and just I want to have the uh, face moved at this place, say extrude. So this is, I want to have 300 more. So I can have the balcony here with the wall. Let's say put my UCS here, and so I can create a small wall. So to create the small wall, I have to put my UCS in this face. So let's say if I want to put my UCS in this face, so UCS face, or I can go with the dynamic UCS also. So just so if I want to put the dynamic UCS on, so right, so put the rectangle over here. Let's say I want to have a wall at the rate, and it is, let's say, 6 750 or 900 is the standard, comma 4 and 115, right? And just this is the I want to create here, and UCS I want to put it in this particular phase, and create a polyline so that it can be, so go with the polyline option, first point. Okay, so or you can do a solid rated face copy here, and shade to the wireframe. You can hide it and see which solid edit face copy, and you can copy this face here. If you explode it, it will be in different line, and then you remove this, and then you go for a p edit or a join command. So once you join it, it becomes a single object, and then you can move it here below the wall. So when you move it, make it a shade parameter, move this or you can get this wall parameter, wall section over here, and go with the extrude, and then path, select this, and then you can copy, you can have the layer on, it's a wall layer, so you can always have the 3D wall, copy, and put it here. So this is basically something that you can see that the elevation is getting created along with the plan, and so this finishes the modeling part. Now next is get the UCS in the world, and create the floor of this particular plan. So I have this floor over here, I can extrude this and say minus 50. So if you look into this, okay, 3D object, so move this floor 600 down, because of the we have moved the plinth down, right? So you can move this object back, and you can have this here also. So now let's say if I want to have a camera view, select a cylinder, and create a cylinder actually with a circle. So now you can see a circle is created. I created a cylinder of the circle, let's say it's 1500, and so 3D orbit, and I make it parallel. I go with the camera view, and here let's say I want to name the camera as cam1. I want to give the height is 1500, and the target height in the Z I would like to give a particular value, but not now. In the lens, so in the lens, let's say I want to have a 35 mm lens, and press enter. So you have the height already done, target already set, press enter. So 1500 you have, and press enter and enter. So the camera is set. Now you remove this So here you can see the camera view at this particular point, and here to see and uh, control the camera, you need to go to the view here. In the visualize, there is an option here. Uh, okay, okay, I think some parameters are needed to be checked. Okay, okay, in the visualize has come. So here I can have the sun status. You can see adjust keep exposure settings. So I'll keep the exposure settings. I want to have the full shadow, or I want to give the ground shadow on. So if the ground shadow is on, there would be a shadow, or I want to go with the full shadow option. And here I want to go with the realistic, right? So apart from this, I can also have a distant light or some kind of. So now the next is, after we have the camera, so you can see the camera, you can start with the camera one and see how it looks like. So here what you can do is, you can put the steering wheel on now, and the steering wheel, you can basically orbit the camera and pan them, and create a perspective view which is suitable for the uh, okay. So here I can create the perspective view, so that it's a this is the perspective view that I wanted to create, and move it into the center of the scene. And you can do the orbit a bit part, okay, so that the projection comes. And this is the you can save this view as cam 2 and press ok. Next is basically setting the you can set a light also. Let's say in the plan you can set the light. Say you can have a distant light. So for the distant light, I can have, let's say, the distance at any time, any height. Cylinder can be any height. So I create a light and I have a distant light. Keep the off the default lighting recommended. So I keep disable distant light when the lighting unit is allow distant light. So now I have this light over here, and the direction is this point, and just I wanted to change the photometry. So here, and press enter. So now I have set a distant light at this particular scene. So go to the view, go to the V1, and or you can go to the cam 2. In fact, you can see the okay. So I need to get the cam 1 set current. Okay, view cam 2 set current. So now next I would be getting the materials. So go to the material browser. So sky background, I can give some sky background, or and illumination. So that some illumination is there, and okay. So this is the 3D view that you can get. Now with the material, you need to have the material browser on here, and I want to give some stone material to the and the granite here. So I'm putting the material browser on. So let's say here are the list of materials that are here. So there is the name of the material. Let's say it's a uh, rough pink stone is there. So granite. So here I want to give this particular object assigned to selection. Okay. Okay. So you can see that the material is assigned to the element that I was talking about, and then you can give this. You can see this particular in the material editor. So let's say if I want to give this particular tile this rustic stone, so here you can see it looks like this. So I can do a set UV to do the mapping of this particular. I will go for a box, and so this element is now inside a box. It is mapped over here. So you can size the box to have the masonry, but this is fine. Similarly, this material you can go with rmat as a command, and let's say I want to have a blue stone given to the wall. So here I go assign to selection, and or I can go with the Taventine stone. So you can see how it looks like. So it is somewhat like the very. So you can go with select the object and assign to selected. So again the wall is now having some color, you can see here, and the texture is given to the wall. So I can go with the set UV command and go with the box mapping, select, and as per it the mapping is done. Similarly you can give the mapping with the rmat, the different kind of let's say you can give both of them rmat to look how the effect would be done. So select, so all the selections that you're having, let's say uh, this is the Traventine cream, and so this is, I want to have, let's say, an kind of polished pink that this yeah, or I can have this rectangular stone gray. It looks more better. So yeah, I can have this in the okay. So rmat, select the object that you want to. So in this case, I want to give these two set assign selection to these two objects. So if I do a set UV right now, set UV box, and now you can see that both of them are given a particular material. So with this, now you are going towards, you can see that how objects can be given different materials and shapes at different time. So here this, or you can give, let's say you are not happy with it, so I can give a stone which is alabaster, select it, and try with the different kind of options that we can have for different materials, because in CAD you can try with a lot of options in 3D modeling. So here you have this, so close this, and let's see, so select all of three of them, and you can assign them the same material that you had given to the staircase. Now you can have this particular stone, just try with it. Doesn't mean that it would be actually practically it can go, but it's just you can play with the colors and see how it looks like. and the material. So you have this uh, so you can always assign to selection. So now you can see how it look like if you give. So go for the set UV and check the box mapping if it fits over here, and press enter. Now let's give it to the let's come to the wood family over here, the mullion frame. So I want to give a white kind of. So here in the library, what I would be looking for is the Autodesk library. Here in the Autodesk library, I would be looking for, let's say, metallic paint. Uh, so white satin, let's say, this kind of paint that I wanted to uh, give. So fleet satin gray. So I'll be selecting this. So I'll be ungrouping this right now. So I put the lay off of this wall and select it and ungroup it. So select this object and assign the selection. Okay. So this is the slate gray that you can have, and similarly for the frames, other frames also you can have the select the frames. Let's say you can ungroup them here, ungroup them, ungroup them, and okay. So select the frames together, 2, 3, and 4, and click right, assign to selection. So all of them will become, and then you want to give a glass, so you can select the glass option. So it's a clear blue glass that you want to give. Right click, select all the glasses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So all the objects are now given a blue glass. So and this particular frame of the door would be given as the, let's say, this material, and so this is how the and then you have the mullions. So I want to have a white and dark shade. So for the go for the plastic, and let's say I want to go for aluminum or steel. If let's say, so you don't have that aluminum or steel, but I can have the white. So now you can go to the 3D orbit and see how it looks like. So select the mullions over here and right click and assign. So similarly select the mullions here also, and assign to selection. Okay, so just zoom it inside and select. Okay, and assign to selection. Select, assign to selection, and select assign to selection. So this side I had given a different texture, and the other I had given a different texture. So let it be and put the lay on, and let me have some call on the wall feature. Just take a call if I want to change the design of the wall, pattern of the wall. So come to the library and see if I can uh, change something over here. So I come over here and I go for a wall paint. So if I go for a wall covering, so it's a wallpaper. So I go for a stucco. So I can go for a exterior white. So select it and I go for a stucco. That is an exterior white color, and or yeah. So this is what we can, and then you can, right, you can set UV, select the wall, go for the box. So right, so you have this building ready for the rendering part. So go for the view, right, go for the view, and cam 2 is ready to be rendered. So the last thing that you should do is go to the render environment and exposure, so that put the environment on over here. So sharp highlights, dry lake, you can have different kinds of environment. uh, okay, and then go with the rendering option. So when we go with the rendering option, so here we have the rendering window here, or render. So okay, so go with the render command. So let us set the size, and that's all. So go for the RR, and now you can see I'm just RR is for the rendering option, and you have the rendering window open. Then we'll go with the rendering presets. You can see what are the presets that the rendering is having, and then okay. So you can have the camera on and off, and you can have the shadows with the presets. First of all, finish it off, and then we will go with the command again. So you have the render gallery, you have the render to size, and render window, and here is the environment and exposure. So click on the setup here, and then you have this window option or a region option, whatever you want, and then you can do low or draft, and then you can put it off, and you can see the rendering done. So you can adjust the exposure of the, so let's say if I want to do it in a high draft, so I can put a rendering on, so it will be done in a high draft resolution, so it is level 0, finish. So this is what the rendering is. You can see the shadows of the building is there, along with the textures over here that we have created, and the shadow is coming because of the sunlight and the distant light that we had given. and and the textures you can see that is available. So I'll just give a copy of this and see that how the rendering can be processed fast. So this is a level 1 rendering that you can see. You can save the render as JPG, and you can have it sample JPG or PNG. So you can always, then you can print them. So you have this different levels of rendering that you can change depending upon how good you want to make the rendering process. And let's say, so I want to mirror this entire building, and the YZ axis, YZ plane, I want to keep it as a, this is the point. So you can see that uh, let me have the okay, so it is mirror 3D. Select all the objects and YZ and put it here. And, so you have a similar building that you have created, and similarly you can do the both the mirror over here, and select all the objects and select the YZ, and so the mirror line would be so go with the mirror 3D and select select the objects, okay, and press enter, and it would be the YZ plane, and the YZ plane will be going through this point. So you can have a series of objects that is created. Now together you can do the um, you can see the view, perspective view better, view the view, cam to, and you can use the now you have the rendering option. So you can do RR as rendering, or so you can open the environmental map. uh, so here I can go with the rendering settings over here, and so I can increase so I can change the level. I'm making it at higher render, and apart from that I am changing the exposure. So here I'm putting the environment on and use IBL as image. So just I can reduce and increase the exposure as I want. So depending upon how I wanted my uh, so so I can have it into a exposure a bit dark. So you can have a cool light as a background, or so I can give different types of background. So I give a soft light and see how the rendering will be there. So they are all uh, images as of you can see that how the building is getting rendered. So you can feel the depth of the building as it goes more deeper. So with this, we end the session of. So it will take time because I have done a level 5 rendering. So a lot of actions were there during this session. Hope you will create models up to the expectation. Thank you.